Welcome to the 2024 Psychic Forecast and Channel Messages. We've got a lot to talk about, like the potential for election mishandling coming to the surface, a possible West Coast LA earthquake or seismic activity, craziest weather of the year and maybe of the decade. And these are just a little snippet of what we're going to be covering today. So this is a time of great change, of great awakening, a lot of shifting energies, and I've got everything on my notes here. These are going to be predictions for a very changeable month. We're in a universal number 11 month now, which is very interesting, and I'll talk about that in a second. As well, Pluto just went into Aquarius. There's, including Chiron, there's going to be 6 different planets or heavenly bodies in retrograde during different parts of December. And the events that happen this month will bring our society just one step closer to awakening, reforms, and changes. So if you're watching this as a video, I'm going to let the live people get a minute or two more to get their notification, but I'm going to timestamp when we actually begin. So check the timestamps on the pinned comment. You can jump ahead a little bit. So anyway, hello, Terry, Katie, Laura, Mary, Leanne, Star, welcome. Hi, Susan. Hi, Brooke. Hi, Donna. Hi, Miss Annie. Hi, Chris. Welcome. Hi, Brooke, if I didn't say that. All right. People are just starting to find me. Hello, Kathleen. Welcome. So if anybody's new and you'd like to maybe say where in this great wide world you are watching from, please feel free to do that. So we've got the astrology and numerology. So I'll talk about that first. The different predictions, channel messages. I've got a couple of quick channel messages sort of interdispersed. It's not in any particular order. And then I have divination cards also. So we'll get some more messages from Spirit together near the end, as well as recommended spiritual practices. It's a big shift. It's a big cleaning house that's going on right now. And we have to stay in our hearts, stay in our power, stay grounded, stay focused, keep our eye on the ball, so to speak. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be great. So hello from Hagerstown, Maryland. And from Calgary, welcome. Yeah, welcome from Alberta. And thank you so much. Yes, I'm glad our community is growing. Hello, Trudy from Winnipeg. So Canada's catch up. Hello, Anita. Welcome. So the Berkshires is represented now also. And we're getting more people from Canada, which is cool because currently about 84% of the people that watch the Medium channel are from the US. The UK is the second, India is number 3, and then Canada's number 4 on the list. So if I check my metrics next week, that might all change. Oh, also, I have to alert you guys that I'm cat sitting and I'm allergic to cats. So I'm getting a lot of like puffy eyes. So no, I have not been smoking weed before my live stream, I promise, but I may need to do things like blow my nose and sneeze and stuff like that. I guess the fur gets all over my clothes. I'm in my office now. Welcome. Hey, Carrie Sue, welcome. All right. So let me see. I'm going to be working a lot with the notes. We're also going to talk about the new moon. Usually I do a separate new moon update, do a whole live stream dedicated to the new moon, because that's the blueprint or the template that the entire month builds upon. The new moon just happens to be on December 1st. And if you're on the West Coast, it's actually November 30th. So the new moon's just a couple of hours away. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., we have tarot time, Eastern time. But then at 7, we're going to do the transmissions. Heather Istar is going to join us and do a lovely healing transmission for our 9-degree Sagittarian new moon that's coming up. That's happening, actually. And then I'll do the transmissions with the master teacher. So tomorrow's a little bit of a double header. So 3 live streams in under 2 days. Hello, Kathleen. Lots of loud weed. Yeah, I promise. No weed before I work or during work. Hi, Laura. Thank you. Yeah. I pretty much don't do. I'm pretty boring these days. Don't drink, don't smoke. What do you do? That's Adamant. That's my namesake. All right. So I think we've got most of our live people in. Let's start out and talk about a little bit of astrology. Oh, from Christy from Saugerties. Well, I'm in uptown Kingston in my office, so I could probably yell out the window. You might hear me. I'll have to yell pretty loud, but I do have a New York voice. All right. Firstly, Universal 11 month. We talk a lot about 11 here. If you're new and you've missed all the rhetoric around number 11, in Chaldean numerology, the symbol is the lion's muzzle and clenched fist. In tarot, old tarot, because they switched the key 8 and key 11, but in old tarot, key 11 is the strength card, which is the lady with the lion. It's overcoming the lower forces and the lower nature so that we may ascend. So 11 is a big number of ascension. Elevate, think elevator, elevation, same prefix, right? To move up a notch. So this is a big spike in awakening. Pluto, now 0 degrees Aquarius. It's not going to go back into Capricorn anymore. We're done with that energy. Pluto stirs things up from the depths, from like the bowels of existence on outward. So from the very depths of creation, Pluto acts to create explosive changes. And when it comes to the Uranus ruled sign of Aquarius, those changes are often in social, political, and human reforms, basically, and uncovering what's hidden beneath the surface so that everybody may see, everyone may know what's going on. And then we can plan our lives and our activities accordingly. Yes, it's scary times, but it's only scary when you don't know what's going on and why it's happening. So the objective is to understand, what's behind that, so that we know, for those of us that are empaths, it's hard to see so many suffer. It's hard to see all that's going on. But if you know there's a greater purpose, it softens the blow a little bit. And then you can connect with the collective. And we're going to do an exercise near the end to show you how connect with the collective and create positive changes from within the collective to help everybody manage these very changeable times. I hear we had an election recently. We'll talk about that one in a minute. I have to say I'm doing a good job being a balanced leader, because I think I'm pretty divided audience-wise to people that support the Democrats versus that supports the agendas behind Donald Trump. So we're pretty evenly balanced there. And what we like to do is just recognize that there's a common enemy, basically, those that create the duality in the first place. That's not to say not to take sides, not to speak up about your beliefs or whatever, but to understand that there's something higher, greater, or lower and greater. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. So Universal 11 month. The courageous will be rewarded. Those willing to step out of their comfort zone will receive blessings. Remember that. Things are scary because they're unknown. Everything is unknown. We're seeing things we've never seen before. Like going back 4 years or almost 4 years, who would have thought that a group of people would be able to penetrate the security of the White House and to do that, right? So that's just one of many things. It's almost like extreme weirdness and craziness is like normalized in today's world. It's like people could be like storming the White House, and people there's hardly a raised eyebrow. It's like, oh, all right, well, same old. So that's the world we live in, right? But anyway, the courageous will be rewarded. So the powers of the moon. So number 11, it's lunar rule because it's a 2. If you reduce 11, 1 plus 1 is 2. And I always like the image of like the 11. It's 2 1 standing side by side. They're identical, yet they're separated. And they're separated by empty space, a portal, the void or nothingness. But they're exactly the same. So the other side, or the other side, I don't know what other words I can use for that, is the same as you, even though they appear to be different. So it's very reflective. It's like the one is reflecting the other one. So when number 2 or 11 is play, we understand that we mirror the other person and others mirror us. So when you get these themes of things that come up in your life, we have to start to look within. to understand what's being projected and how that's being reflected to us. So this is a very good time for shadow work. We'll talk a little bit more about that. So 2 months, all right, a month of personal reintegration and empowerment. So you want to bring those two ones back into unity, because number one is all about unity, right? So it's the beginning. So a month of personal reintegration, personal empowerment. So that's another thing. All right. I'm having tissue on standby. If you just jumped on a few minutes ago, I have cat allergies because I'm cat sitting. So anyways, so a month of personal empowerment to overcome all the long-standing obstacles and reach new accomplishments. So usually I'm going to talk about some of the major astrological events, but that's the main energies, number 11. And like I said, usually I'll do a separate new moon, a separate live stream for that. We'll probably start doing that again in February, where the new moons get a little bit away from the first day of the month. I just don't have time to do too many live streams. So I'm kind of, 11 likes to integrate. So we're integrating the new moon because it's the beginning of the month. It's going to set the template. So 9 degrees Sagittarius. 9 is Mars guided or influenced numerology. Sagittarius is a fire sign. Action, energy. That's a key thing. What else is fire? The sun, solar flares. We're in the solar maximum. Expect more of those. I didn't check the report, but I think we had one today, because I've been finding if I get these waves of dizziness where I feel like I've got to hold on to something. No, it's not vertigo. I look back and there's usually a solar flare right around that time. So I think we had another one. But anyway, all right. So it's active time. So like I said, including Chiron, there's 6 different planets in retrograde at different times in the month, not necessarily all at the same time. So Mercury's already retrograde. That happened a little while ago. Mars is going to go into retrograde. I hopefully I have the date, but if not, it's soon. Mars goes into retrograde really soon. So you have Mars, the planet of energy, Mercury, the planet of communication. When things go retrograde, it's time to back up a little bit, take the foot off the gas a little bit, catch up, go within a little bit more, basically. This is sort of the trust your common sense, look before you leap kind of energy. That's what especially Mars in retrograde, it's not quite as daring. It's more introspective and more intelligent, I think, in a way. And, with Mercury retrograde, the drill. Communications, schedules get screwed up. I'm sure everybody had fun traveling for Thanksgiving and all that. But mostly it's about just stepping back and going within again. So it's not a bad thing. It happens 3 times a year anyway. So people get agitated, even aggressive with, because, again, Mars is very much highlighted because of the number 9. It's 9 degrees. And you find people get agitated and even aggressive at times. So you have to just try to be a light when we go out in the world. Try not to allow others to trigger us, to stay in our center, and to try to beam good vibes out there, because that's what the world needs anyway. They just want attention. They want love at the end of the day. So anyway, people get agitated. So also on this new moon is going to trine Mars. So again, Mars is very, very active. That's a favorable aspect. But the moon and Mars are different kinds of energies. The moon is more about the subconscious, more the subliminal stuff. Mars is more like out in the open, like action, 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 basically. So blending, understanding your feelings and emotions, accessing your intuition, and aligning your action with your intuition, that is a key to success this month with that trine going on, especially with moon being highlighted because it's a new moon, and Mars being highlighted because it's at 9 degrees. So also the moon's going to be squaring Saturn. So that's going to hit the structures, especially with Pluto going to Uranus. That hits those structures, those foundations, the facades, those walls that we need to break through in the society in order to get anything done, basically. And Neptune's active too. I know there's a Neptune aspect. I don't think I wrote it down in my notes. And actually I'll get to Neptune in a second. But anyway, moon square Saturn, I'm reading from my notes now, creates a clash between higher ideals of the world and the unfair structures. Lots of karmic issues come out. Clear and integrate the shadows, and finish old business and plan for something new. So it's time to go back and finish especially all these planets. So what happens on the 6th? 6 is an interesting day. Well, I'll be on I don't know if Mr. Floyd is on. Oh yes, Mr. Floyd is on. Hi, Josh. So I'll be on Good Dawning on Friday the 6th at 10:33 a.m. Eastern time. But that's on Mr. Floyd channeling channel. And so that's one thing that's happening on the 6th. But also Mars is stationed going retrograde. Did I write down the degrees? No. Oh, I did. 6 degrees Leo. The 6th day, 6 degrees Leo. 6 is Venus energy. It's about integrity also. Slow down. Favors something that I can't read my writing. Favors planning. Can affect both romance and finance because it's at that 6 degrees, that Venus energy. Reputation takes on higher importance, and can feed aggressions and the global conflict. So that's something to keep in mind also. So 7th, 6th, 7th, big days. What happens on the 7th? Neptune comes out of retrograde, so it goes direct, stationing at 28 degrees of Pisces. So it's been hanging out in Pisces for a while. In the beginning of next year, it's going to get out of Pisces and go into Aries, which that should be interesting also. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But anyway, when planets are stationed, that's like, about to go retrograde or direct or just did. They're stronger. Neptune's about intuition, but it's also about illusions and delusions. So a lot rises to the surface with that. New ideas surface. We see through the illusions. 28 can help. Number 28 in Chaldean system especially can help expose what's hidden beneath the surface. It's about taking initiative, but taking initiative to get to the bottom of things. And on a global level, that's going to really tap into taking initiative by the powers that be, or the powers that oppose the powers that be, a lot of powers, right? In order to expose the corruption, to bring these facades down so we can see what's really going on. So this Neptune direct is really going to feed, the Mars energy, the full new moon, and all that stuff. Also Venus goes into Aquarius. So Venus is going to conjunct Pluto on the 7th also. So we add a little bit of that to the mix. Very energetic day. A lot of shifting that's happening. So there can be some, I wrote down MSN, like mainstream news bombs dropped around that time. When Pluto, with the Aquarius, all this stuff, that's like surprise and expect the unexpected. I know that some big news is going to happen. Some big changes are going to happen this month. I feel it. I know it. I don't know exactly what it is. So I do my predictions. Some of them are choice centered. It's all timelines. So things can change. Things can get mitigated. Nothing's written in stone other than the fact that we're up against some huge changes. They're good changes, but the transitional process can be a little bit difficult. So Venus goes in retrograde, and it's going to conjunct Pluto, yes. Favors exposures, especially in the financial systems. Now, is the World Economic Forum meeting, or the BRICS Plus nations, or there's a lot going on with that. We'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. Full moon happens. Did I write the date? No. I think it's the 15th, if memory serves me, at 23 Gemini. 23 is 5 in numerology. Mercury ruled numerology. Mercury goes direct, so it's stationing. So the Great Divide, we're going to see a lot about that. The split of timeline, whether that's 3D, 5D, the Democrats or liberals versus the conservatives, jumping into 5D from 3D, lots of split energy with that, and things of that nature. More going to technology versus going more organically in our human development. Yeah, things of that nature. Yeah. Oh, oh, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, if you guys hit the like button, that'd be very, very amazing. Thank you so much, and that helps get this information out to more people. Let me see what else. So full moon, 23 degrees, favorable. Mercury stations goes direct on the same day as the full moon, the 15th, at 6 degrees Sagittarius. So that 6 is Venus. So Venus is going to be a major player. I mean, it's the planet of love, but think money, financial systems, security like homeland security, safety in our own homes or shelters, all that kind of stuff really starts to come to the surface in this energy. All right. There's more, but I've got like 9 pages of prediction. Oh, thank you, Jason. Yes, winter solstice on the 21st. And, didn't write that down. What happens if it's 0 degrees Capricorn? I just kicked my camera. Sorry about that, or the camera stand. So that's the world axis. So 0 degrees of the cardinal sign is the world axis. So thank you for that. Yeah, I'm a Sag rising too. Yeah. All right. So here's the number one. All right. We talked about the strong get rewarded. 11-month. A lot will be unveiled. We all need to. I'm with you here. We all need to overcome what is going on out there. That's going to be a common theme. Now, November was a hugely energetic month with all these planets retrograde. Who else is retrograde? Saturn will go retrograde. Pluto came out of retrograde. Yeah, I think Uranus is retrograde. Jupiter's retrograde. So a lot going on. But anyway, 11-month will be unveiled. We all need to overcome something. So stay in your center. That's it. Do your spiritual grounding and cleansing every day. Do clear, not in a fear-based way, not feeling like I need to protect myself, because when you have that mindset, you draw on energies that you need to protect yourself from. Just reaffirming that I'm safe, I'm protected. The one that created me takes care of me always. And the more I'm grounded in Mother Earth, the more I can handle the changes that are going on in the world without getting upended by them. So when you're in your heart, you're in the eye of the storm. Hearts cannot be programmed. We say this at virtually every live stream because it's that important and it's that simple. And that's what people don't understand. Spirituality is really, really simple. Hearts cannot be programmed. Hearts love. But science is now proving that the heart and the brain are intimately connected. And in fact, you can argue that they're two parts of the same oneness, but the hearts are stronger. So what happens if you dwell on the heart? You become more resistant to subconscious programming. Every single day, there's attempts made to program us. I've got my Shungite pyramid in front of me here. I don't know if Suzette's on, but thank you, Suzette. But I have this here also, and because just Wi-Fi signals, there may be frequencies that are aimed for programming. They did that. You could read about that in the Montauk Project books. And they did experiments with radio waves and were able to program people with different frequencies. Now we've got Wi-Fi. Now we've got cell signals. We've got more advanced, sophisticated waves to work with. Anytime you turn on the TV, the patterns emanating from the TV affect the cerebral cortex. That's a direct programming tool, the television. But you know what? If you're in your heart, it's not going to matter. You can enjoy TV, not have to worry about all that crap. That's too much to worry about. Instead, do your heart-brain coherence. We have videos on that in the channel, so do that. Yes. And this is all part of my first mini channel message. So when I was doing my notes, I did a couple little automatic writing things. So let me read this. So cleansing every day, do clearing. Also, Spirit wants us to grow new plants. Wants us to actually literally grow new plants in our house, symbolic of new growth for 2025 as the phoenix rises up from the ashes of an archaic, greed and power-driven society we once knew. Meditate on the heart. That is the way to source. accessing it from within so you can stand the pressures of extreme change on the outside and rise up out of your own ashes to discover who you have always been all along. This is the beginning of the golden age, the beginning of new earth. So here's some of the predictions. So first thing that popped up in my mind when I was doing my notes, I was seeing like transportation halting. So there may be like supply line halts, train derailments, stuff like that. Supply lines interrupted, snag in oil pipelines, perhaps a spill. That could be almost any month, but that came up. Some of these things have happened already. I did a lot of my notes a week to 10 days ago, and a few of the things that I'm going to be talking about, you might be thinking, well, that's happening already. That's not psychic forecasting. So some of it's now casting, in other words. But anyway, tension and disparity can lead to violent outbreaks, but also new opportunities. By the way, this is not doom and gloom. This is very hopeful, but there's a lot we need to be aware of in order to get into our higher vibes. So you're not going to be listening to another 40 minutes of doom and gloom, just to let you know that. Cacao opens the heart. Thank you, Michelle, for that. And doing heartbrain coherent, or anytime you feel grateful, or anytime you do a random act of kindness, that opens the heart. Heartbrain coherent is not just the exercise, it's a way of life, basically. So if I was doing my 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a time, 3 times a day, heartbrain coherence, and the rest of the day just being a miserable son of a bitch and yelling at people, it's not going to work, right? So it's a 24/7 thing. And as Joe Dispenza says, if you go into negative reactions, don't try to stop, just observe the negative reaction, because that's programming. Programming hijacks the emotions, and we have very predictable responses based on our past to the environment. And then we project that or create that in the future. So we bring the past into the present when we have these reactions or responses. Then we create that in the future. But the buck stops when you step out and observe how you're reacting, because then you observe the programming in action, right? So anyway, so tension, disparity, all right. Financial opportunities will exist for those who understand social trends and can think outside the box. So great time, especially for the spiritual entrepreneurs, but anybody, it's a great time. There's a lot of money out there, even if so many people don't have it. Volatile market. So we're going to see lots of ups and downs in the stock market, I think, and other markets. Watch cryptocurrency. I'm going to learn about that and invest in it myself. Big winners, they're showing big winners in the crypto, of course. When there's big winners, there's also big losers. You got to know what you're doing, basically. Something big towards around mid-month, and I'm seeing solar flares in my mind, but there's a lot of this that's around the full moon too. Though the December LA earthquake prediction, okay, I'm going to get to the election stuff in a minute, by the way, for anybody that's wondering about that. Karen, I don't think it's going to come to that, but I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But anyway, so I think it was even the spring or summer, it was way back when, that are seeing an LA or West Coast earthquake, a big one in December. I'm not feeling that as much. And maybe it's one thing is, and that may come more in January or February, but understand we have helpers that are guiding us, so timelines can change. That would be one prediction that I'd be very happy to miss on. We like eating crow. Tasty. Well, the dark meat anyway. I'm just kidding. Anyway, but anyway, something big around mid-month. So December LA earthquake may be delayed. Some major events around extreme weather, geology, fire. No matter what, self-mastery is key. Overcoming the shadows, be in a better position to help yourself and to help others. That's the bottom line. Change has to happen. How's society going to change if things don't fall in order to be rebuilt? So we got to be strong. We got to be grounded, right? This is going to be an ongoing message for the next half hour of this live stream. Thank you, Yvonne, for that. Also, so election fraud, miscounts, and stuff like that. First thing I'm seeing, Trump getting blocked every which way. Do you need to be psychic, are just aware. You don't need to be psychic to get that one, right? Issues around elections are scrutinized. Now, the thing is, I do believe that that's happening already. We're just not seeing it on the news, but I do believe they're looking at some of these neighborhoods, looking at the voters, looking at the counts or stuff like that. Personally, I don't think, I'll put it this way. At this point, I'm only giving about a 10% chance that Trump doesn't get sworn in. And if that doesn't happen, it may be more health or related to something else. So I think Spirit saying that would be a huge embarrassment for the U.S. that doesn't need if we can't even handle our own election. So whatever's going, I don't think there's been a fully fair election for a very, very long time. So whatever. As I've explained in other live streams, it just seemed like too easy the way Trump won. It seemed like it just seemed like it's all sort of predestined in a way. And maybe it was. Maybe it was Spirit's way of placing this very polarizing figure into office so that we can look more within the polarities within ourselves and to heal ourselves and help to heal society. Again, we're not claiming Trump to be the Messiah. We're not claiming we're not claiming anything. It's just the powers that be, acting through different individuals. At least that's the way that I see it anyway. So what else are we writing about? Moving towards recounting key districts amid allegations. Don't think election results get overturned. However, active investigation we don't know about are going on. Lots of fire against the attorney general. Now, is that the present attorney general or the one that's coming in? Do we even know? Yeah, we don't even know who the attorney general is going to be. I know somebody's been nominated. And God, I have so much in my head I can't even remember who that is. But a lot of officials are going to come under fire. So in general, a lot gets exposed. Yeah, so again, I don't think the election will get overturned or recounted, but hello, Melbourne, yes, very good. So general law gets exposed, changes in rules around the media, etc. to follow. Disalliances amongst ally nations. So this is this came through before this whole thing with the tariffs came up, by the way, but actually, they're saying no, it came after, but I didn't really connect the dots. It doesn't really matter because they were pointing more to Europe than here anyway. But they're showing like 3 nations may kind of disalign: U.S., Mexico, Canada, maybe. But I think it's more in Europe, but it's just part of like the whole all the craziness that's going on. So disalliances. European Union suspect, of course, U.S. Tariffs may turn out to be a bluff or come through in a modified form. So we'll see how all that pans out. Basically, craziness is normalized. We talked about that. Trump continues to draw controversy, brings more attention to the divide. December is a big month for environmentalism, they were showing me also. So a lot of meetings happening, rules getting enacted, things getting enforced, stuff like that, new rules proposed, other old rules getting recycled, meetings, emergency meetings, stuff like that. Also, record numbers of new species getting discovered around this time. Discoveries of lost cities, underground caverns that can support life. Understanding that there's been civilizations living within the earth. Possibly people from Atlantis went underground and developed societies underneath. That's one of the prevailing theories anyways. But I think more discovery of like underground caverns and things like that. So I think that's that. So climate, weather changes affects growing seasons, invasive species, and international trade. So I think these are other things that are coming into. Pam Bondi, thank you, Anita. Canada big election next year, and the UK had an election, and it's just sort of a trend in the world that or in the Western world, I should say, that there's more of a movement towards conservatism. I think a lot of people got disillusioned with liberalism, so they're kind of going that direction. It always is going to go back and forth, and it'll always balance out in the end, anyways. So anyway, the prospect of a world conflict, basically, number three, as it were. We're seeing military movements. We're seeing the deployment of troops possible just in case. So there may be more like troops on standby. I don't think too many would get deployed yet. I want to say we see a breach of a treaty, but then that gets reconciled. So as I've been explaining before, both escalation of aggression as well as escalation of peace movements are kind of happening simultaneously. We're kind of seeing that played out. Of course, I'm thinking of Israel and the Middle East stuff, because apparently, from what I understand, there's a treaty in place or ceasefire in place, not necessarily a treaty. So that might get breached and then reconciled, stuff like that. Watch the Koreas. Watch that area also. That came up very strong. Asia for new conflicts, and reporters coming under fire. There may even be like more kidnappings, same old usual, but it's all part of the reset. So they were also showing we may get an initial glimpse of Epstein files. We may get a little bit of news leaking out this month into January. Your suspected cover-ups being revealed, cover-ups and handling of pandemics, handling a vaccination program, not just COVID, but other ones. The Fauci emails, all the stuff that people that are really doing honest research, not just looking at just the right wing or just the left wing, but really diving in and finding, the truth, basically. These are stuff that's all been talked about, basically. So it's more like it's just getting more known by more people, basically. And check the cover up reveal. So they're showing like new virus concern. I mean, of course, I'm thinking bird flu, because that's been in the news a lot. There's always the specter of a new variant of COVID or influenza or something else. So it may start making headlines, but you also start to hear a little bit more about new technologies, new generations of medicine. A lot of it is sonic. A lot of it's, they're saying radiation. So use of radioactive things that can be medicines. Remember, you're kind of in, we're going to be coming into the year of the snake in a couple of months. That's the transmuter poison into medicines and shedding the old skin, basically. So, radiation can be very deadly, but we know it can save lives. It's used in medicine already, so we know that. But the technologies like the medbed technology that's been around, or frequency medicine, yes, it were, but I think a lot more with the genetics and the sonics, like different ways of using ultrasound and stuff like that. AI transhumanism more in the news. So there may be some news about like, new possibilities around that. We'll talk about that a little bit more in other live streams. In fact, I did one recently that you can check out. There's actually a video where I dove into the whole prospect of transhumanism, interfacing nanotechnologies in the body, neurotransmitters, and allowing technology to control our emotions rather than our biology, which is a pretty scary prospect as far as I'm concerned. So how about UFOs and extraterrestrials and stuff like that? I mean, I've always believed that they are here. We forecasted a big uptick in that in November. We got a big uptick in that in November. I think December is going to follow suit, and there's going to be more sightings, more news, more of that. But we want to make something clear. There really were no government disclosures. To me, a disclosure is like revealing the secret space programs, revealing technology from extraterrestrials that are used, revealing people stationed around different planets and interacting with extraterrestrial intelligence. That's disclosure to me, not saying, well, this event happened and it was really a weather balloon and that's not disclosure. That's kind of like appeasing the public, basically, in my opinion, anyhow. That would be the secret space programs, all that stuff. To me, that's what a disclosure is. All right, we're getting there, getting there. And UFOs, more sightings, contacts, etc. Biggest month for spiritual awakening. November, they said the same thing in the beginning of November also. More extraterrestrial and ascended masters and contacts, and more people are going to be channeling, feeling the energies, getting messages, because more people are awakening. They want to work with us and through us, because we, the humans, have to create the change. They can only guide us in that change. They're not allowed to interfere unless we're going to blow the planet up. Then they'll intervene, but they're not allowed to do that. But they are allowed to guide. So the more you open up and set the intention, the more you may start to connect with the ascended masters, Jesus included, extraterrestrial intelligences, the angels, the archangels. So new higher frequencies will help you prepare. Okay, so they're helping us to prepare ourselves for these higher frequencies that keep coming in. We may get clues into what the second coming of Christ is about. This is Revelations and other prophecies. They keep saying it's not one Messiah, it's different people. So it's a different experience than Jesus, the Christ, in the dawning of the Piscean age. Now in the dawning of the Aquarian age, it's a different energy and atmosphere, but it's the same Christ. It's the same Christ consciousness. Remember, forgiveness. That's an important thing. That's part of what we need to do to clear some of the what's the right word? The baggage that we have. Forgive others, not for them, but for yourself. Talking about Jesus, because remember, according to the Bible, Jesus said from the cross, after he was nailed and double crossed, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. And then what happened to Christ? He got resurrected. So he went into a whole new vibration and energy. So think about that. I'm one of the first people to be a little bit jaded about the Bible, because I know it's been multiple translations. You used to manipulate the masses and so forth, but a lot of wisdom survived that. A lot of original scripture survived that. We can learn a lot of through those teachings. And that's a very, very clear and plain one. So, the person that stole your spouse or got you fired or got you in jail, forgive them. Then you release their energy from your field, and then you can ascend. You can have your resurrection also. Again, it's not for them. Don't forget. Don't condone, but forgive. All right. I had to interject that. Sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, actually. I'm not sorry. So anyway, what else? A very young person may emerge as a spiritual teacher messenger. Can they show me the Maharaji from this 1970? He was 16 years old and leading thousands of people through transcendental meditation. So you may get one of these very young people being a new earth leader. I mean, increase in something anomalies. I wish I could read my own writing. Sky anomalies. Some more flares. Could be internet blackouts or computer disruptions. A failed rocket launch they were showing me. There was one failed one in November. There's a lot of anomalies in November also. Elon Musk, cabinet members debacle. One or two choices get blocked. People don't understand. It's a changing of the guards. Trump is just a transitional figure. He's not the new guard. That's what I wanted to make clear. He's not the new guard. He's just in as a catalyst for all of this change. Whether you love him and think he's God's gift to humanity, or you hate him because he's despicable, whatever your views are, this is the role, the cosmic role, in my opinion, that this person is taking on. So what else? I may be jumping around a little bit. Thank you, Mary. So I'm not flashing your comments. I'll do that tomorrow on tarot time. Tarot time's 11 a.m. So we'll look into the week ahead. Then at 7 o'clock, we're doing our new moon transmissions from the master teacher. So we do energy frequency to help reset your energetic fields for this new lunar cycle. And Heather does a lot of healing transmission. So we're going to be doing that together. 7 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, weather extremes. Unusual cold snaps. Pretty cold out there right now from what I'm looking at. People will wonder, like, if there's global warming, why is it so cold? Or remember 2 years ago, it happened in Texas. It's like, why was it so cold? Well, global warming, atmospheric warming increases disparities. So in other words, it increases the extremes. So you can have extreme cold when the whole world is warming, basically. So figured I'd mention that. Unusual cold snap to eastern states. It's happening now. Not going to let up anytime soon, by the way. So, I hope you have your winter coats out. Record warmth in the west. Often when there's record cold in the east, there's record warmth in the west. That's how weather works. Flooding in southeast. I just heard Florida in my mind. So what else is new? Ice storm possible around the southern plain. They're showing me what areas like Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas. These are places that are very prone to ice storms also. They show me a record flight, like something flying higher than it ever has this month, whether it's an airplane or a weather balloon or something like that. Significant clashes around the borders. Demonstrations can turn ugly. Revolutionary type of activities. Not a civil war, but the divide increases. Basically, we have to understand there's a common enemy. And, I go on Facebook a lot. There's a lot of these memes going around, just saying, like, if you're not making a choice, basically, if then you're just like, feeding the enemy or whatever. And I answered one of them, said, I did make a choice. I choose spirit. I don't choose the right wing. I don't choose the left wing. I choose spirit. I choose to fight the fight against those that are creating this divide, that are programming the masses so that everybody's fighting and clashing each other. Meanwhile, we all want the same things. If we're Americans, we want democracy. We want fairness. We just have different views of how that can happen and how that looks. But I think, especially people that are more left wing, we've got to avoid the thinking that Trump is the enemy. I mean, I get it. I do. But and I'm the one that kind of sees the good and the bad and the ugly with Donald Trump. Just to be clear about that, I don't, follow the whatever you call it, the QAnon or stuff like that. But anyway, I being the true Libra, I want to see all sides of things. But anyway, where were we? All right. Anyway, moving right along. Mainstream media going bankrupt, that could happen. Yeah, the bankruptcies, mainstream media getting exposed, absolutely. Yeah, that's part of the big exposures. Yeah. Just seeing a very large orb light. Cool. Yeah. Very good. So what else? Pluto in Aquarius, Mars, Mercury retrograde, significant exposures of shadows, personally and collectively. So basically, in order to ascend, we've had a period of a collective purge. This is all like the master teachers, for those of you don't know, that they're the group that I work with, that I channel. A lot of it is frequency. So when I work, they work with your energetic frequencies to assist you in raising your vibrations. But they also give messages too, and forecasts. And they were saying, for 2024, there's going to be a collective purge. Then around the Lionsgate portal, a collective quantum leap. We had those. And now that we've ascended as a collective, we've had that leap. Now it's like, what shadows are still there? What's preventing us from really going into that new reality or that new energy or that new frequency? So we have to kind of go back and clear the shadows, because the ascension is lightening the load. It's lightening and heightening our vibration. So we can't take the heavy, dense 3D vibration into multidimensional reality. We have to let go of that baggage. We have to do that work now because there is a split happening. There is it's happening right here on Earth. It may not be anything super woo woo like some people being stuck in 3D, some people stuck in 5D. I mean, it could be. I mean, I think there's some credence to that, but I think the disparity happens right here on planet Earth between those that are staying in the programming, going into the AI, using their bodies, trying to enhance their bodies through technology versus those that want to continue growing and developing spiritually more organically. But the thing is, though, in order to have your next ascension, to go into multidimensionality, the weight of the 3D's got to be released. And a lot of that is carried in our fields of unresolved traumas, unresolved collective traumas, unresolved karmic traumas, not just the childhood ones, and unresolved programming, basically. So this is a time to really work on releasing that baggage. You can't release what you don't embrace first. So accepting and releasing it, and then we're going to ascend. Then you're going to have that amazing awakening that you're working towards. So anyhow, travel, technology, breakdown, well, everything's in retrograde. Mars is technology, Mercury's communication. Pack your patience. Significant spike in energies causes ascension symptoms, but the more we allow, the less ascension symptoms we have. And that's just ascensions that are just things in our body, things that are in our emotions that come up that doctors can't diagnose. There's 70 different ascension symptoms that have been identified. These happen because we resist, and the higher frequencies get jammed up within our body and energy fields and cause these symptoms. Why do we resist? Because it's unknown. Our human survival instinct is to resist the unknown because the subconscious believes we can't survive what's not predictable. So it messes with us every which way until Tuesday. It's like if you try to meditate, you'll get distracted. If you do your heart-brain coherence, negative emotions will surface and you'll have a hard time doing that. It's just your subconscious trying to block you. You have to resist that and keep doing your spiritual work anyways. That is so important, because it's unknown. But remember, the one God, spirit or source that created us is taking care of us and guiding us. We have to let go and trust, basically. Part of this could be resolving the fear of death and knowing there is no death. I have a leg up because I'm a medium. I'm connecting with spirits that have died that are still able to communicate every day that I work. So it's easier for me than most people. But these are the things. We can't be afraid of change. We can't be afraid of death. We have to allow the energies to flow through us smoothly as much as possible. Easier said than done, a lot easier said than done. But this is something to work towards. If you're able to do that and accept the discomfort of the unknown, it's unknown energies in the body sometimes. So we feel weird and we don't like to feel weird. We want to feel the way we always did. Again, it's a survival instinct. Breathe through it. The more in your heart you are, the more you can withstand changes in your body, changes in your emotions, changes in your thoughts that are uncomfortable. And the more you're connected with God, spirit or source. No coincidence there, right? It's all the same thing. So anyway, so meditate. Do heart-brain coherence work. Very important. Timeline shift, 3D versus 5D divide, more palpable than ever. So the divide more palpable than ever. We got a nice infusion of Gemini energy coming up around the full moon. That's going to be in Gemini and at 23 degrees with its Mercury ruled. So let's see more of that divide. Show lots of white light and violet light. So these are the higher frequencies that are acting on the Earth. Let's talk about something more spiritual now. With every solar flare, because I'm seeing the auroras. I think we're going to have another aurora show. We had a little one. I could see it through my iPhone, very, very faint last night. But I think we'll have one similar to October 10th, or maybe even better. But they show me a lot of shimmering light in the sky, a lot of infusions of new light frequencies, new light codes, the central sun effects, the physical sun, that expresses it into the fields of consciousness, the energetic fields, and it creates changes in our perception as well as in our planet, basically. So we're getting a lot of influx of that higher energy right now. So and they've shown me just like more white light, more higher vibrations and stuff like that. They're showing a lot of healing energy, a lot of upgrades, spiking around the 12th. So we'll do transmission on 12/12 also for 12/12. Possible assassination of Trump. I predict that in November. It didn't happen, thank goodness. That's always on the table. It's not necessarily that. I think that I can never pronounce his name. Vasilevsky. Uh, and anyway, there may be an important public figure not in this country, of like a president or a ruler that may be an attempt also. That's just the world we live in, though. All right, what else? Big resets in social media. So I think we're going to see a lot of rules changes coming up in social media. So be aware of that. Basically, big shadow purge time. Okay, we talked about that. We had the Great Collect. All right, we talked about that. Now we need to do more clearing and do energy to step into our higher frequencies. All right, there's another little channel message near the end. Then we'll talk about the we'll do our divination card also. So active, changeable, but hopeful month, especially amongst the light workers. So this came through an automatic writing. Some things we witness will be scary, but remember, God's source is in charge. Higher intelligence intervene only when necessary. If we are on the verge of creating calamities, we are constantly but they are constantly guiding us. That's the extraterrestrial beings that more of you are going to be in contact with, as well as the ascended masters, constantly guiding us to our best outcomes. Soften the blow of such extreme change and upheaval that's in the collective field that could show up on in the world. I have something to say about that at the end. Changes and upheaval in the collective field won't make sense. Humans will resist. Humans will resist the unfamiliar, the new. But remember, God's source is in charge, and you are an active participant in the greatest miracle of humanity in this epoch, basically. So we are privy to be here in the greatest miracle. You're greater than the Allies winning World War II, greater than overcoming the Great Depression. This is it, basically. And where was I say? I was going to intervene something. No, I don't know where. Oh, okay. It came back to me. Because I've noticed through prophecies, that's Revelations. I love Revelations. And next to the book of Matthew, that's my favorite in the Bible. And at least in the New Testament. But where was I? But what I've noticed is a lot of these prophecies, they come true. They just come true in more of a modified, softer version of it. And the more we can feed the collective with positive energy, the more that's going to soften the blow, allow the transition to be less traumatic, then less people have to suffer and die, and less damage to the planet and stuff like that. So our job is to raise our vibration as much as possible, first and foremost. The more you do that, the more Spirit is going to let you know what earthly action you need to take. Some of us might be writers or do a documentary. Some may march on Washington, D.C. Some may do nothing but lead meditation. Well, I shouldn't say do nothing, because that's everything. Lead meditation group and peace group. But you'll know the earthly action just by aligning more with source, basically. So a lot of times when you feel the suffering, we're all empaths. It's like, what can I do to alleviate that? What do I do? I need to do something. And they're saying, no, you need to step back, be more in your heart, open up more to Spirit, and they'll let you know what you're the best suited for in terms of your earthly and affirmative action. So something to remember. So did I read all this? Okay. Yeah. All right. I think that I did. All right. So here's a few exercises that you can do. You grab a little bit of water. So we talked about the flame technique before. So if you're new, or for a quick review, we're all part of this collective field. We can't help but to feel or be affected by others. Conversely, they can't help but to be affected by us. But you can go more into your own frame. You can get stronger into your own frame. You can get more into your own energetics, as it were, and create a buffer between the negativity of the lower aspects of the collective. And a great way to do this is work with the power of fire, that very dynamic force that created everything in the physical. Light a candle, gaze into the center of the flame, the eyes open, relax body, open your heart. And once you're really gazing and you're starting to trance in your mind, you step into that flame, you see and feel the flames around you, and that's creating a buffer between all the stress of the world outside yourself. And the more you open your heart, the more you're creating that naturally. That's when meditation for ascended masters, extraterrestrials. Saint Germain meditations are very good. That also. I'm sorry, I'm missing a lot of your comments. Sorry, Mary, about the anniversary. So each day do present and heart brain coherence. So here's what they're saying how to do this. And again, I'll probably in the pinned comment link a video on how to do heart brain coherence. Joe Dispenza, Greg Braden, and HeartMath Institute and others teach this practice also. The way I do it's a little bit different, but it's all different, ways of getting to the same place, really. But do presence and heart brain coherence. So what I like to do is I like to get so present. I'm not a name. I'm a body. I'm energy, frequency. I'm spirit. And then just that raises my vibration. I get a head rush. It's what Joe Dispenza calls an orgasm of the brain, basically. That happens to me when I do my presence. It's like I have to just stay relaxed because it can get very uncomfortable when you just feel like you're doing about 11 G's, like you're on a plane or like on a boat on a storm, in the storm. Ooh, it's that kind of a feeling. But but then, once I'm there and I'm present, I just feel grateful just for the present moment and gratitude and compassion. You tap into the master frequency that aligns you more with spirit source of the quantum field. It's got all kinds of health benefits, but it gets you into that field of compassion. It gets you into the heart is the strongest. It's the indwelling spirit, and hearts cannot be programmed. Again, like I said in the beginning, only the subconscious mind can. And the good news is, even though they're connected, the heart's stronger. So if you're in your heart, you become resistant to all that negative programming out there, and you come into the vibration of love, and you affect the collective that way. So as you do that, this was the exercise. Imagine that you are in a circle with all humanity. So doing your heart brain coherence, and everybody, humans, extraterrestrials, white, black, male, female, gay, straight, yellow, red, whatever. We're all brothers and sisters. And all beings that are connected with the earth, and feel the connection. So as you're doing that, you feel the connection, all your brothers and sisters. Feel the group energy and keep feeding the emotion of faith, courage, love and gratitude. So you do heart brain coherence, but feel like you can feel like you're holding hand, or you're in circle, that you're becoming blending with the conscious field, and you're feeding love. You're not accepting the fear or negativity or anger of the lower program collective. Rather, you're feeding with love, and you're feeling and seeing like the collective responding and uplifting as a result of that, and keep feeding that. Do that every day. That's going to be very powerful because that can mitigate some of the more challenging predictions, as it were. Predictions are just that. They're predictions. It's a forecast. It's choice centered. We have the choice as a collective which way we're going to do this, basically. So I look at the forecast as point of references. Plenty of things will happen that I won't predict, and some things that I predict won't happen. But the general energy that I'm sharing, what's going on frequency wise and how that's affecting us in the world, that's going to be 90+% accurate, and that's the main gift for that. All right, let's do Starseed Oracle. All right, yeah, so anybody, if you're here and you like what we're doing, please hit the like button for us. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, if you're unsubscribed, basically what that means is that more of our videos will show up on your homepage. So if you want to see more of what we do, subscribe by all means. And Kathleen, we find those on the Medium channel on that and I have playlists, although they're a little bit confusing, but you find all the stuff is on either videos or live streams, basically. So this is called the Starseed Oracle deck. Do I have the box handy? Is it Campbell? I keep forgetting the artist and the creator's name. Rebecca Campbell. I think this is a Rebecca Campbell. Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, it's a nice deck. Let me just ask Spirit to guide me to the right card. I'm not there yet. I need to mix these up a little bit more. All right, I'll just check your question. You're welcome, Jace. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all you. So thank you for being here. All 75 of you that are here right now live. We appreciate you a lot. Yes, Rebecca Campbell. Thank you, Laura, for confirming that. This is it. I found my card already. This says wait. Hold this a little closer. And the message here is, it's not time yet. Things are being woven. So they're asking us to have patience, through the Starseed Oracle deck, that things are happening. They're manifesting. And with 5 planets in retrograde at different times in the month, that's really good advice. So, December to me, there's a lot happening. The frequencies are getting very strong. It's very active, but at the same time, it's a little bit more of a pullback time to kind of take inventory, to restock, so to speak, get your rest, stuff like that. You have your plan, keep doing your plan, but it may not be time for you to act. I feel like that we need to see a little bit more about exactly how the details are going to play out with the changes going on in the world, with the economy, and things of that nature, basically. And what else? It's almost like I feel like what they're saying is that be patient, for those of us that are really expecting the extraterrestrials to come in to reform everything. They need to wait also until we're ready as well. So I think it's also a message about us really continue to do our spiritual work. Again, keep working with those shadows, keep integrating those shadows. Is we have to release the baggage. We can't be heavy and go into a lighter vibration. It just don't work that way. So we've got to lighten our fields. Yeah, we had 16,000 2 days ago or something like that. So yeah, not quite the big time, but for me that's a lot. All right, so this is called the this would be like a message, basically. And this is the divine abundance. We have Venus very much in play, and it's also the Christmas season, so money and abundance, that certainly plays a role. This card here. And this was a surrender. So he talked a little bit about that, kind of. And what it says is, sometimes learning to surrender can feel as if you're dying. The ego learns what's hardest, to stop trying to control the whole universe. And it looks like I don't know if that's an albatross. It's probably you know what? I think that's a condor. And there's a lot of birds. There's a lot of messages from spirit also. Yeah, that's what we have to do. Surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means, aligning with God, spirit, or source, and understanding who's in charge, and that we have to be open to access that in order to make the right decisions based upon who we are and how we want to ascend and what we want to see in the world, basically. So we have to really, now more than ever, stop trying to control everything. I'm as guilty as anybody. So these are messages for me, not just you. Is that a turkey vulture? That doesn't look like a vulture, but it could be. Maybe it's a spiky wing. Maybe it's, I don't know. Anyway, the vultures they play a vital role. They clean up, right? Otherwise we'd have a bunch of carry-ons, stinking up the place around here. So thank goodness for them. Vulture having a strong connection to family. All right, so that is a turkey vulture. All right. Thanks for identifying that for me. And I have also the frequency, from the sacred geometry deck. An hour, 9 minutes. I think after this we will break. Thank you for you guys that are sticking this out with me till the bitter end. I know we've lost quite a few. I guess Jared on Who the channel is doing his new moon fire home. So we, there's too many people in our community to have channels that we can't all coordinate with each other. So, but the good news is it's all becomes a video, so it doesn't matter if you're alive or not. Anyway, so I'm feeling my body, I'm feeling my heart and my throat. I feel like they're saying if you're opening your heart, the next thing is to clear the throat chakra. That if our throat chakras are impacted, if it's the throat chakra is not clear, then you can't really achieve full heart-brain coherence because you got a block in between your third eye crown chakras and your heart chakras. So do some toning, like doing like singing, chanting is a great way to open your throat chakra and get in the habit of speaking up. If you're like me that could never speak up, it's hard because the amount of fear that I felt, it's like sheer terror just by speaking up. That's programming in action. I had to do a lot of work. Now I can speak up, maybe too much now. Anyhow, so that's another little message that they show me in the body. So you're doing heart-brain coherence, don't ignore the throat chakra. And of course, don't ignore the root. You need to be grounded. If you're not well rooted, working with your upper chakras isn't going to help with your earth life. It's not going to help with the planet. It's not going to help with the people. So we've got to really work with all the chakras. In traditional Vedic yogic traditions, you open your root, then you work with the sacral, then you work with the solar plexus, then the heart, then the throat, then the third eye, and then the crown. And then the transpersonal chakras, by the way, have Vedic names also. So the transpersonal chakras that are not in the body were known by the ancients also. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Turkey, Sagittarius spirit animal. Yeah. Turkey's the giveaway, right? So the turkey in American culture gives of its life in order to for us to have our ceremonies of giving thanks, basically. So turkey's the giveaway animal. We give of our hearts so that we may receive the abundance of blessings of spirit. So we're not holding on and we're not in the illusion of lack. Like we can give away valuables and know that spirit's gonna take care of us, basically. Yeah, the turkey is the true American bird, basically. But then the eagle got that distinction. I think either is a good choice, honestly. So, but turkey was definitely under heavy consideration of being the USA animal. Anyway, let me clear my mind a second. So we got healing. So that's the last message. Again, with all the retrograde, with Mercury retrograde, Mercury's Hermes the healer. That's a great time to double down on your healing, your heart integration, all that kind of stuff. And what it says is the frequency of healing supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. So as you gaze upon the image, you absorb the sacred geometry. Oh, a bunch of people just got on. Well, we're going to end in a minute. Then you can go back into the beginning for the people that just jumped in. But in any event, so what was I going to say? Supports our. Okay. Basically, what I was going to say is we are equipped genetically, whether that's just basic human genetics or the 30 or so percent of genetics that are not terrestrial, that had no trace of before modern human. Whatever the case, we are wired to be able to be in perfect health and to heal our bodies, and just being able to like if you think about it, you get a cut and then the body heals itself. That's miraculous if you think about it. The body's intelligence knows to heal that cut, to seal it, to create a scab, to create a scar, and to heal that. That's just normal human. Now, when you start to awaken higher DNA, higher genetics, there's higher healing abilities that we have to heal ourselves of cancer, MS. I mean, this is my belief, so I don't want for the algorithm to mistake this for giving medical advice or anything like that. But this is more about our potential, and as we start to awaken our dormant DNA and awaken those dormant potentials, we can heal ourselves. I am of the belief that cancer, horrible disease that takes so many lives, is actually part of an evolutionary response that we're not advanced enough to take advantage of. But I do believe that once we're able to consciously direct and grow cancer cells, then we'll be able to start to heal like organs or grow limbs or stuff like that. Remember, we all have cancer cells. Just if you have cancer, they're out of control. Something gets the body out of balance, and it's usually a stagnation within the energetic fields, coupled with environmental, maybe viruses or whatever. So anyway, point being is that we are wired to heal ourselves, and God, spirit, source that creates us wants us to be 100% healthy. We are created in spirit's image or God's image, basically. And if we're able to clear whatever's blocking the totality of energy through us, the flow, if you want to call that chi, prana, the force, whatever obstructions exist, we want to clear that, because spirit, the energy, the frequencies want to heal us. They want to heal everything. They want us to be in perfect health. It's part of our birthright. It's part of our evolution, that there's a force that seeks to heal us, but we are programmed to block it. And then also, I could talk about the pharmaceutical companies and their profit outweighs the well-being of the people, and how we're programmed and stuff like that. And I'm not against Western medicine. I think it's amazing, by the way, but I am against profit over the well-being of people, and unscrupulous corporations or individuals or those that control that, manipulating that so that we're overly relying on things where we can learn how to open our fields and allow more flow through us to heal our bodies. So I think that was the final message with this card that I needed to get out. Yeah, and Kim, the frequencies are out of balance. Yeah, we're under assault all the time. Yeah, that's a good point. I said I wasn't going to flash comments, but since I'm talking about this, and that's true. But still, God is stronger. Spirit is stronger. There's higher frequencies that can counter that and overcome that. And we need to learn how to work with our body. So you brought up an excellent point, Kim. So thank you for that. That balances things, because take care of your bodies also. If your body is clogged with bad food, if you're not doing any cleansings or clearings or stuff like that, spirit's going to have an awful hard time. Just like if we're clouded by programming or negative thoughts, the flows can't do their thing to heal us adequately. So all these things are relevant. Yes, absolutely. All right. Anyways, so tomorrow, 11 a.m. Tarot time, that's a weekly event. That's more of our community hangout. And that's when I start to do more of like displaying your comments, doing some conversation based on what you guys are saying, as well as doing the tarot and other divination tools for what to prepare for the week ahead. And then we're going to do some healing and some clearing transmissions for this new moon at 7 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow on the Medium channel with Heather, I Star, and myself. So that's basically it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We love you. We are ending now.